brand is hugely important as a music producer and contributes significantly to getting more artists listening to your beats and then eventually buying them. Building a brand is like creating the foundation so that everything else can be built on top and flourish. As a producer, there are so many different facets to pay attention to. Social media, beat selling marketplaces, selling sample packs, going for placements, email marketing. But building and having a brand is working for all these things and improving them all in one go, because it gives you an identity. It helps people know who you are better, or maybe they've never seen you before. You're then easier to remember with a strong brand. Being memorable is huge for attracting artists to your beats. Being memorable and interesting, enticing artists to listen to your beats. There are so many different ways you can do this. A very simple one is creating beats in a niche which isn't too well explored, or mixing genres and creating a title that reflects that. It entices people to listen to your beats because they're different. In terms of brand, I think what's key to this is social media. In my opinion, it's the best place to create a brand as a producer and get into the world. Now, when I say brand, I'm not just talking about having a logo and banner art which match. Of course, that kind of thing is part of it, but for social media, I'm talking more about the way you edit your videos, the topic of the videos, what you choose to make the subject, the way you talk, who you're talking to. Having a clear image of what you're doing with and on social media makes your brand a lot more appealing and memorable, as I said, because there's a clear message. An example could be that you talk about the latest trends in music and music production. You make videos explaining the way certain music is made and how it's been shaped over time, etc. When someone sees a few of your videos, they'll now know what to expect and the kind of thing that they're going to get from you and get from watching your videos, which in turn elevates you above most of the people that they're going to watch on social media. Having a clear image can also be applied to how you use beat selling platforms. Posting beats which are in the same vein and similar style makes artists more convinced by you when coming across your beat page, because they can see that you've made many beats in that style before. If those beats correlate to the style that you're posting on social media, that's really helpful because it lines up and is kind of a seamless transition for artists seeing you and listening to you on social media, then coming across to your beat platform and hearing that same style of your beats, as opposed to listening to your beats on a beat selling platform and discovering it's totally different to everything they've heard from you on social media. And the chances are that if someone has come from social media to your beat selling platform, it's because they like what you post and are curious about how your beats will sound. Building your brand doesn't have to be completely beat focused. The content you make on social media, on YouTube, doesn't have to be just you promoting your beats. In fact, I've found that that kind of thing doesn't really work on social media, or at least it's really hard to gain traction from doing that. Take this YouTube channel as an example. This is a channel dedicated to producers, not artists, producers. But by doing these videos, I'm still building my brand, even though I'm not trying to attract artists. I'm building an awareness in the production space of who I am, and hopefully as someone who is credible and helpful in the information that they give. That's a huge part of building your brand as a producer, just building awareness. You don't have to be right down the throat of artists with your beats from the outset. Build a brand as a producer who's interesting and reputable first, maybe. And to do that, you have to be yourself. Be authentic and bring value. That's how I got my biggest bulk sale to date, which I've done a video on previously, a just under $2,000 sale, which came from someone finding me and my content on social media, TikTok to be specific. Content which was not me promoting my beats. It was producing help, tips, music production topics. I was by no means directly targeting artists. I was building a brand and image as someone trustworthy to make custom beats for someone, and that's how I got the sale. Attracting artists to your beats can also be something that you go out and do. It doesn't have to be just waiting for them to come to you. If you go after them with beats in the style of some of their previous songs, with an Instagram page that shows you're active in the production space, you're in a much better position in that artist's head than if you had random beats of 20 different artists that you sent them and you posted once a year and a half ago. As I said before, building a brand as a producer is the foundations. It just kind of creates a much better initial impression and elevates the likelihood of something sticking. Building a brand is of course not just posting on social media. It is a lot more than that. It's how you communicate with other producers, who you collaborate with, the way you design your website, the wording of your emails even. Being visually appealing in the way that you design everything, I think does really help. It does make you look more professional, and that is likely to help with attracting artists, but it's not absolutely everything. I would suggest the brand is formed more around yourself. There are some things to think about in building your brand as a producer. Feel free to join the producer Discord, first link in the description, where you can kind of learn about all this stuff and we can connect as producers. And I'll see you in the next video.